and welcome to my channel for you who have a narcissistic mother. And in this video I want to talk to you about something that I see a lot with clients in therapy. It is that when you grow up with a narcissistic mother, there's a big cost to it in terms of your life and how you live. And one of the big costs is that you lose touch with who you truly are. So you live in this world according to how you survived growing up with her, and you're disconnected from the truth of who you really are. And so when I meet people, they come in to therapy with things like relationships aren't working, feeling depressed, feeling anxious, in the wrong career, and feeling really alone and not connecting well in relationships with others, or having a lot of experiences of painful relationships, rejections, and just not being able to create really good relationships. The thing is that these people blame themselves for this. So you might have ended up very often like a pleaser, adapting to others' needs come before you, silenced your own voice. And these are normal adaptations to having a narcissistic mother, but you lose yourself in the process. You end up not knowing who you are. You end up not forming relationships from the point of being who you really are. So how can you really connect with others? That's why you get so lonely. And this isn't a fault of yours. It's a very real consequence of growing up with a narcissistic mother. However, it can also be undone, and you can shift and move and become who you really are meant to be. So in this video, we're going to see how do we become ourselves, like our real selves. How do we get a strong, solid self? And then we're going to contrast that to what happens when you have a narcissistic mother, how you actually end up with a false self and a survival self instead. And what then is the consequence of this? Because there are really real consequences in your life, in your quality of life from this. And then we're going to look at placing the responsibility where it belongs on your mother, showing you it's not your fault. And then what is the way then back to or finding your real self? And I'm going to make you an invitation, if you're interested in that, for a 3-month healing journey. So the way to a healthy self when having a normal mother is it's a very relational process, finding yourself. That's why I work with this in therapy, and also going to start a program for helping more people go through this process of finding themselves. So it's a very relational process of, if you are accepted for who you are, if you can look in your parents' eyes and see the love for you unconditionally, if you can experiencing the acceptance, and that you're actually okay, and that you as a person are seen, you're cherished, others enjoy your company, like your parents love, maybe not all the time, nobody does that all the time, but in general you feel that these are ingredients that are there. Well, this creates a child that's secure in themselves, and you also maybe get support by your parents in exploring your interests from the point of view of yourself. And so you end up getting help. So you end up exploring a lot, finding out who you are. You end up, you can ask for help. You know that your parents are always there to help you, at least if it really comes down to it. So you can safely go around exploring, and you get help, so that you get a lot of experiences of mastery and managing things. So you're allowed to feel what you really feel. You're allowed to express how you really, your opinions as they are. You don't have to adapt any of this. So you actually get then a relationship to your feelings, which helps you navigate in your life, which helps you identify what's important to you and what isn't, what's wrong for you, and so on. So that's how you can really know yourself and love yourself and feel worthy and have the confidence, and also having this being around parents who model these healthy relationships just means that you get it for free. You develop and you learn about boundaries, and you learn about it's okay to assert yourself. So you learn all these things. So what happens with a narcissistic mother is that she is self-interested. So she's not really on the she doesn't have you on a radar. She doesn't see you, because she can only see herself, her own needs. That's the only thing that matters to her, is me, 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 me. So you aren't seen. And when you aren't seen, you're in that developmental process. You learn not to see yourself. That's what you learn from her not seeing you, from her not being able to love you properly. You don't learn to love yourself properly. If she's conditional with you, which is, and only accepts you when you are how she wants you to be, act how she wants you to act, believe what she wants you to believe, that's then what you end up taking, molding yourself into. So you can see how the process takes you away, further and further away from your real nature, your real self. So there's a major disconnect there. And that is why you end up then having, when you need that connection later on to form true friendships, to know what career path is right for you, to find a partner that's good for you. If you are to just navigate in life, like have interests that match who you really are, because then when you really do express who you are, there's a lot of deep joy, deep purpose, deep meaning. You are robbed of all these things because you're living in that survival personality that she wanted you to be in. So you took that on. So you suppress your feelings, you adapt, you become what you need to become to please her, and your survival self is your authentic self is silenced. So you become empty, insecure, joyless, disconnected, unsure of who you really are, very often depressed, and struggle in relationships, struggle with knowing where to go in your life, struggle to know yourself, like who am I, what's important to me. You don't know any of this. So the consequences are living in survival mode versus living authentically. Lacking direction, lacking joy, lacking purpose, lacking inner security. Feeling a lot of shame, depression, people pleasing, and also when you grow up developing yourself, your true self, you get a real sense of robustness from always knowing that your parents are there, always knowing they have your back, always knowing that you are safe. And all the exploration you do, knowing that you're safe, means that you get very robust in your personality. You can adapt if something goes wrong in your life. You don't fall apart. But when you're built on such a shaky ground as you are when you have a narcissistic mother, it doesn't take that much to disorient you, and it's hard to find the way to what's right for you. So you're much more vulnerable. So what can you do, and what do you need to do then? Well, this is why people come into therapy, but there are also other ways, and I'm creating these ways right now to help you. So you do need to find your true self. You need to establish a deep connection with your true self. You need to walk towards your true self. You need to be in a relationship or a container where this is made possible for you. You need to have that space, just like in therapy. I hold all this for the clients. I create this opportunity for them psychologically, structurally. You know, it's like it's a physical space and relationship, but it's a spiritual and emotional and psychological opportunity and space that you didn't have when you grew up, but that you can then have now. And then becoming aware of your survival patterns and what your survival personality is and who you are, and then gradually stepping out of that, out of the survival and into your true self. So creating practices and taking beliefs away that you don't support you anymore, patterns, relational patterns, ways of being with yourself, developing self-love. This is self-love is kind of like, you know, it comes with the process. You start to love yourself more when you start to step into yourself more. I'm sure it can also go the other way around. The more you love yourself, the more you find the true you. So if this really speaks to you, then I'd like you to consider sending me an email to my email address, which is on my YouTube channel and also in the comment field below this video. Because you can apply to join a 3-month program where I want to put together a small group of 5 to 8 people who are in this process, where I help people to really see how they survive, how you survived, how you are functioning in the present, and where your true self lies and where you want to go. And I want to take this from both a psychological perspective and also infuse it with a spiritual perspective and tools as well, because then you really get the powerful force of spirit, which is your deepest sense of self. So if this really speaks to you and you'd really like to do something about this and step in to live well, if you want to connect with yourself, know who you are, be connected with others, start loving yourself unconditionally. Obviously, these are really major processes. It's not something that you can do in a short time. But when you are walking on a path where you know that it leads you this way, what I'm saying is that I do this with clients all the time, and I've helped so many. I've helped them to success. So, and people tell me that they're really, really, the life is completely transformed deeply. So if this is something that you'd like to really improve your life, then I can help you take steps in the right direction. I can provide a container, a kind of relationship in that small group that is safe enough, where you can explore yourself in this way and really set you on the path of connecting with your true self, living from that place and disconnecting more and more from your survival patterns. And also to since this is a new program, I'm also very open to what are your needs, so that, for instance, the questions come up, and then I will, as far as I can, answer and help you with that. So if this really speaks to you, then yeah, check out my I'd love if you contacted me. Send me an email. The email address is in the comments here, and also, well, on my YouTube channel in the comments and on the description page. And send me a comment and tell me that you're interested, because this program is going to start in January, and now before the new year I want to plan it and see what are you exactly struggling with and the others, and then create a beginning January, February, and March where we work together and set you for 2026 on a much, much stronger, more meaningful, more joyful, more spiritual, a powerful path towards a life that is that feels wonderful to live. So do contact me, do email me if you're interested in this, and then I can give you more details about it. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'd love it if it has. I'd love it if you subscribed or commented. I just really enjoy comments, and so please do. So all the best to you, and hope to see you again.